All right, thank you, Marshall. Welcome everybody to the CalPads Q&A. My name is Paul Higgins. I'm a data analyst working at CSIS supporting CalPads. Let's see. Let's just go into the announcements. Fall 1 submission is in the amendment window. The final deadline is the 24th, but due to the fires in Southern California, uh, Southern California schools that need an emergency extension based on the fires need to submit a CalPad service desk request requesting that, please. In addition, the Fall 2 submission is in progress with a final deadline of February 28th. There will be no extension on that, no amendment window either. The CalPad service desk will be closed on Monday, Monday the 20th, in observance of Martin Luther King Day. So we will not be answering questions on Monday, and I hope you also have a day off with us. I don't think that we've gotten any flashes in the last week, so I'm going to pass it off to Angela to talk about bugs, bug fixes, builds, etc., if you have anything to share with the group.
Yeah, we did have a release go in yesterday, so we were up to date this morning. I just had a couple patches go in, and is Kyron on? He may have not gotten to that yet. There was two more that got added earlier today, so keep an eye on that fixed issues screen because there's two more coming.
All righty. One last thing. I believe that we are short some special ed folks from CDE today, so we may put your special ed questions into that. Please submit a service desk ticket box today, but we will do our best to get through them.
Hey, Paul.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is Milo. I'm
Oh,
here.
oh, excellent. Good. I didn't want to pressure anybody, but if I know Dominic's out this week,
Yeah.
and so we were just kind of planning on, just in case, making that announcement. So
I think Brandy is supposed to be here too.
Yes, Angela.
Yeah, she just had a meeting running long that we just got off of. So
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
she is.
Oh,
She's
there
in
you go.
the waiting room, Marshall, if you want to add her.
Yay, Brandy.
We haven't seen her. She's graced this meeting in a long time.
Yeah.
I say we just let her run it because she's been absent for so long. Everybody wants to talk to Brandy.
Welcome, Randy.
Uh,
Hilarious.
all right. If there's nothing else, does the CDE have any announcements for the group? I'm going to take that as a
Not
no.
to my knowledge.
Okie doke.
From Fed, no.
Fair enough. All right, let's move into the Q&A box. We're going to start with Eva at 301 Q1. Hi there. Hi, Eva. I had to decertify for Fall 1, and now I am ready to recertify. I chose the revised uncertified option, made the necessary changes, and confirmed those changes. I noticed the revised date and time and selected both LEA approved and LEA disapproved. I also ensured that my aggregate reports are accurate, but I am having trouble locating the button to complete the certification. Could you please help me figure out what I'm missing? So you did disapprove. You went to the revised uncertified. Did you scroll through all of the aggregate reports? And you're showing 0 errors. I think we're pulling you up right now. So let's see what there is to see. Takes a minute.
Yeah, this is one of the slower screens in CalPads for sure. That's why I really
Yeah.
like using that data discrepancy screen.
Oh, you betcha. All right.
Oh,
So
she
I
should be able
see.
to see something.
Yeah, if you're on the LE or on the revised uncertified, everything else is done. You've reviewed all the aggregate reports. That's problematic. Can you expand the certification fatal summary just in case there's something hidden there? Okay, just wanted to cover all the basic bases first. All right, well, I have no answer for that. I would ask that you open a service desk ticket, put my name on it. I will create a user account similar to yours with the appropriate roles to see if I see something different than you.
I just verified Ava's roles too, and she's good to go. She's got the appropriate
Okay.
account roles.
Yeah,
She
go
needs
ahead,
to
Kyrie, please.
CELPA disapprove first,
She's got an LEA disapproved.
but she's currently CELPA approved. So
Well, that is interesting. Can you select that SELPA approved and see what pops up?
I think she should be able to disapprove that one too.
I would agree. Ava, can you also look on the certification details page under the SELPA approved revision and make sure you don't see a disapprove on there? Hmm. All right. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to the next question, but keep this one up in the box if you would care.
All right.
Susan at 302 Q1. Will our school run into instructional minute issues if we use the state course code 9215 free period or no educational content? Um,
Paul, what was the
Okay.
question again?
Will our school run into instructional minute issues if we use the state course code 9215 free period or no educational content?
Well, instructional minute verification is not done using course codes. I can tell you that.
All right. I guess that's helpful. And that actually is helpful. So they wouldn't be looking at that. They would just be looking at the kids completing what I have no idea what that would be.
So, I mean, I think they probably need to. Is Sean not here?
She doesn't seem to be logged in.
Okay.
She's not logged in yet.
I just wanted to. It probably is a question that's better suited towards the attendance accounting unit. But I can tell you from a CalPADS perspective, they do not use state course codes to verify whether or not students are getting the required amount of instructional minutes. If your student information system is calculating instructional minutes based on state course codes, that's another issue. So it's number one, I would address with your vendor. And then if you have specific questions about attendance accounting and whether or not you can count, if a student is enrolled in this free period, if you can count that towards your instructional minutes, that's something that you need to send to the attendance accounting at cde.ca.gov.
Okay. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that. Moving on to Trish at 302 Q1. We have a teacher that has been on political leave since 2016. Last week on this call, I was told to contact our HR on how to report her. Our HR contacted OCDE, who then asked CTC, and CTC said to contact CalPADS. And further, response from Donna at CTC, this question must be addressed with CDE's CalPADS office to determine if the educator should be reported, as CalPADS is not under the Commission's purview. CalSAS does not monitor the assignments reported with the 6018 employee on leave. So whether or not this educator is reported with the 6018 will not affect assignment monitoring in CalSAS.
So Sean is working on an FAQ, or at least an updated FAQ, to clarify that. And Trish, I'm assuming that you've long since replaced that teacher on leave with other, people have been given those courses. So what you can do is go into CalPads. You don't necessarily have to do it in your HR system, but go into CalPads and populate the employment end date for now. And then you can remove it later when the teacher comes back. So then in that case, you wouldn't report any assignments or courses. So just close out the staff demographic record for now.
All right, thank you. Kim at 303, can you please go over how to report a teacher on leave, i.e. 6018? I have been getting multiple directions, but none are working and still get errors. Okay, so you've specified, let's see, a teacher on leave. So the new guidance, well, the new, what is it, the SDEM 684F2, if you have a teacher on leave, they also require their normal course section to be populated with them as the teacher of record or another compatible non-classroom based job assignment. And the rationale behind it was you're telling us that the teacher is on leave, but we need to know they're on leave from what, which was the rationale behind wanting the course section data or the additional non-classroom based job assignment. Let's see.
So then she adds, she tried the 60/20, but it fails. So the guidance is you are supposed to add another staff assignment besides a non-classroom based assignment like a TOSA, in addition to the 60/18. However, right now, when you do that, you get a SAS 257 error. And that's what I think when you say it fails. That error is supposed to be deactivated. And I checked earlier today and it looks like it's in a pending PR. So I think that means it's close to being deactivated, hopefully by the next release. And then you should be able to put the 60/20 in without getting that error.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Gary. That I think solved her problem. I think that she was stuck with trying to add the 60/20 and wasn't able to. So I think you just solved her problem. Thank you. Jennifer, 303 Q1. How do I report a teacher on special assignment who is on leave? Well, I think we just talked about that. So, and right there, the SAS 257 is triggering. So, as Gary said, as soon as it's deactivated, you'll be able to add that 60/20 in there, or that should be 60/20, not 28, right? Anyway, you'll be able to add that TOSA assignment in there.
I have a caveat for that. We typically do our releases every Tuesday, but next week is the official fall one deadline, and we don't do releases on deadline weeks. So the next release in CalPads would be January 28th. So that's a pretty minor change. If possible, we'll see if we can get that one patched, but otherwise it'll be the 28th for that to deactivate that SAS record.
Thank you, Angela. Sue Ann, 305 Q1. CTC says they do not report teachers with an assignment of 60/18. If that's true, then what is CalPads doing with the course information for these teachers? The CTC said the CalPads has to determine the CRSE reporting. Well, again, my understanding from requirements and all the conversations that I've been party to was that when we're telling you 60, or when you're telling us 60/18, my understanding and the other people that I was on the meetings with, their understanding was that CTC wanted to know what they were on leave from. So I'm not sure.
Sean would probably be better to answer this one if she was here.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I believe there's some federal reporting, right, Brandy?
Yeah, I think it has to do. I think it has to do with the fact that in AMAR they have to calculate staff assignments by FTE, and because for those staff on leave there was like 0 FTE, they could not calculate it for a specific content area. So that they didn't know that this person was, you know, a math teacher, or I think it has something to do with the FTE reporting. And Randy had a lot to do with the changes that were made here, in my recollection anyway. Full disclosure, because I don't work there anymore. They don't include me in anything anymore.
But we want you there, Brandy. We love your input.
I'm not complaining though.
All right, Alejandra at 3:05 Q1. I apologize if this is an obvious question. I just need confirmation for peace of mind. Our LEA is happy in the initial fall one submission, and we did get SELPA approval. I do not need to do anything else in regard to the fall one amendment deadline, correct? I believe an email went out 2 weeks ago, asking LEAs to verify that they don't have any of the what were the two errors? SENR 0661.
Yeah,
and
Robin has them listed right there, Paul.
Oh.
Right in the comments.
Oh, hey, look at that right there. Yes, check for those, the SENR 06441 and the 661, because they were relaxed into warnings to get everybody approved as early as possible, knowing that we were going to tighten them back up into fatals. They're now fatals again. So if you don't have any of those and you're happy with your revision, you should be okay. All right, Chris at 3:05 Q1. Should an unaccompanied homeless minor be reported as their own parent or guardian, or should that field be left blank? Well, if they're a primary enrollment, leaving that field blank is not an option. Now, how you populate it, therein lies the challenge. So they are an unaccompanied homeless minor. So they're not over 18, can't be themselves. Is there a social worker?
I think this is probably something that's best directed to the homeless program office. So if they want to send in a ticket, the CalPADS office can forward it to the homeless program liaison, because they probably have some guidance somewhere.
Okay, and I'll CC myself on that as well.
Can we go back to Alejandra real quick? I do see a few missing lip records for you, Alejandra, on your revised uncertified. So that means your reports 214 and 215 are missing a few students. So you've got time. I would recommend going ahead and go in there and fix those and then certify that newer revision.
Thank you, Angela.
She's only got 3 of them. It shouldn't take long. And it's the 644.
All righty. Cassie 308 Q1 asking for a friend. If a SWIDS record, or I'm sorry, if SWID files got mistakenly deleted in CalPADS online maintenance, is there any way that those files can be restored? You can manually add them back in if they were yours. If they were another LEA's, well, if they were another LEA's, you wouldn't have been able to remove them. But yeah, if they were your data, you can put them back in there, but I don't know of an automated way to do that. We don't have a restore button, obviously. So if you know what they were and you know what they were dated, you can recreate them. Yes. Maria 309 Q1. Is there a delay code for an IEP that will be held late due to a teacher strike?
Oh, yeah. You would have to use late without cause.
Straight from the SPED department's mouth. Uh, um, is Judy's remark a response to somebody?
Yeah, it's to the question that Brandy just answered.
Ah, I gotcha. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. I haven't closed that. Oralia 317 Q1. Are we supposed to report teachers on leave who are not attached to a course? As we were talking about, the new guidance is they need to have, if they're a teacher on leave of absence, they need to have their courses still assigned to them and or a new non-classroom based job assignment. Miguel 317 Q1. Good afternoon, everyone. We have a couple of teachers, 12 job class that are tagged with a non-classroom code of 0319 Teacher Induction Program Coordinator, 6010 Mentor Teacher, or 6099 Department Chair that are triggering incorrect and producing misassignments, specifically triggering Ed Code, there you go, because of a required admin credential. Our HR department was wondering what non-classroom based code we should be using instead. Any guidance would be greatly appreciated. All right, well, we're pulling them up here. Hold on just a second.
So the first thing I should say is that all of these non-classroom based or support assignment codes, the ones that are prefaced by with the word administrator in front of it, we know unequivocally that CTC would probably be expecting an administrative credential. The other ones are essentially at the discretion of CTC based on our definitions. So if you're definitely
The valid
mentor,
code combinations has that mapping by job classification.
oh, that's a good reference resource too. And the other thing that you can look at is the CTC tool to look up what credentials would be required, and that's probably the better one to look at rather than this, because they don't use our valid code combo. They use the tool. So if you go to the CTC's website and you take a look at their non-classroom based or support assignment, like it's appropriate credentials for non-class. There it is. Okay, somebody pasted it in the chat.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, is she on? No? So I can
Different Sean.
Different Sean.
Different Sean.
All right, so if you type in, let's try 6099, 6099. Okay, so you need an admin credential for these. And then the other one, let's look at 6010, which is interesting. So they just need the Title V local assignment option. Okay, so this one's, see if the duties. Okay. So they're essentially looking at mentor teacher as a staff developer. So they have to meet the following requirements. And then let's look at 0319 real quick. Okay, so again, this is for a program coordinator, and in order to do any program coordination, you have to have an administrative services credential. So my advice to this, to Miguel, is you want to take a look at that specific job assignment and take a look at the job duties described in that particular job assignment. Look at their duty statement. And then look at our code set to see where it best aligns. And it may actually be a 60/20, right? Which is the other code, which we don't like you to use, but it really is, where do their duties align, not necessarily what the job title is. Are the duties under that job consistent with what would be required under an admin services credential?
All righty. All right, Miguel, I hope that helped. That CTC link should help you sort out what everybody should have. So I would use that heavily. And again, coordinate with your HR department and make sure that everybody's lined up the way they should be. I'm sorry, Lisa at 317. Q1, I had 2 vacancies on October 2nd and understand that I need to put in the sub for that date for the teacher on special assignment, but what would I put for their start and end date? Well, it depends on when you hired them to be that sub and when they're done, I guess. So when you create that SDEM record, the employment start date would be whatever their actual start date was, and hopefully that was prior to October 2nd. And then when they do separate, you would use the actual date that they separated. Carol, 317 Q1, teacher on leave. Do we sign both the teacher on leave and the teacher who is filling in for the whole year for the same course? No, the teacher who is on leave is considered the teacher of record. And even though they're on leave, the new requirement is that they get the CalPADS record. Eric, 318. Q1, a student moved to our area and is attending our district after their home burned and their school closed. I emailed the district asking to remove the TBD so we can test the student. I do not want to put pressure on that district, but I also want to make sure we test the student and provide the services they need. Could it be possible to create a ticket and remove it for us? Generally speaking, once a TBD has been established, it just remains in play. Even if they leave that district, they leave, whatever. But the TBD with the non-English or sign language primary language will, just remain a set flag in the ground. So when they do re-enroll somewhere, Tom's/LPAC immediately picks that up and adds them to the testing list. The TBD is old, so you would probably get the gig for not testing them within I think it's a 60-day window or 30-day. I don't remember the exact time frame. But my understanding is that the TBD with the non-English language should remain in place just as a flag set, and then it'll get picked up on the next enrollment.
So Eric, as long as they have an enrollment in CalPADS with you, they should be able to be tested right now with that existing TBD.
Looks like Eva is contacting Kyron that she cleared the browser and still unable to certify. Okay. Kyron, Eva's still trying to get a hold of you, buddy. Sue Ann, that's Q2. Julie, 322, Q1. Is there an ETA on the fix for the SDEM 684F2? Sorry if this is a repeat. I logged on and see it on the screen. I just missed the conversation. This is my only error and will keep me from certification.
It was supposed to go in yesterday, but it looks like the developer is still working on it. So like that would be the 28th would be the next release. We're not doing a release next week.
And some of those errors are actually valid. I mean, there is a bug on it, but some people that have this error, it is valid because they have not put in their course information for that teacher on record or the non-classroom based assignment.
That's a good point, Gary. Just because you see that doesn't mean it's not valid for you. So do double check.
Oh, looks like we can dismiss this one. Thank you. All right. Val 324 Q1. We had a vacancy and a sub covered. They just got a teacher in December. I know to report the sub with the code 12 and code 6014, but there is no seed. Just got a teacher in
Well, they can't
December.
put that record in. And if they don't have a seed, you can't put a record in for them. You put the course in and using the nines. I mean, that's discouraged, but if that's all you can do, that's what you have to do. But there is no way you can put a staff dem or a staff assignment with a 999s.
Yeah. Gary is absolutely correct on that. So yeah, use the nines and then there will be a misassignment generated for it automatically. So just be prepared for that. Charlene, 325 Q1, we have 3 teachers on leave. Maybe we should just start a leave of absence Q&A.
I know.
I think that, maybe
Sean
just
should be here
temporarily.
today.
Q1, we have 3 teachers on leave. We were advised to give them a termination date as their course sections were given to other staff with the appropriate credentials. If we resort to putting the termination date, there won't be the need for the reporting leave. I'm.
Yeah, I can take. That's my ticket.
Oh, please,
So
thank
yes,
you.
I've been going back and forth with Sean on this because I was getting myself confused as well. So I can understand why people are. That's why we're helping her craft the FAQ to make it real clear and even maybe put a table in there with some scenarios for you. But in Charlene's case, they're on a really long-term leave of absence over a year, so they went ahead and hired new people that have appropriate credentials. And CDE wants them to go into CalPads and put the employment end date. And Charlene, yes, leave. Do not report a 24-25 assignment record or a course record for those leave of absence teachers. Just report the teachers that are actually teaching the courses this year.
Perfect. Thank you, Angela. Moving down to Shauna at 331 Q1. Not sure if this can be answered regarding the Welligent app. I'm wondering if there's a known issue with data transfer. Welligent is not showing all of our seniors enrolled in at least
Web
2 of
grants,
our high schools.
not Welligent.
Oh, sorry. Wow. That was me projecting there, isn't it? Sorry about that. Let me start that again. Q1, not sure if this could be answered regarding the Web Grants app. I'm wondering if there's a known issue with data transfer. Web Grants is not showing all of our seniors enrolled in at least 2 of our high schools. CSAC's response when we reached out, quote, to my understanding, CDE provides only the students who are enrolled at their schools for the year. If students are not listed on the report, it's because CDE did not send us information they were enrolled at that high school. It's best to speak with your district, specifically who reports that data to CalPads and at CDE. Please refer to the CalPads webpage for FAQs, blah, blah, blah. Where's that? I don't believe there's an issue with any data transfer to any external sources. I guess we would need to verify the information, determine when it was added to CalPads, and compare that against uh, when the data was supposed to have been transferred. Because if they didn't exist at that time, obviously they wouldn't have been put or included in the data. So there's a few things that can be checked. So I guess I would ask for a service desk ticket on this, providing the details of the students so we can look and see when they were in there, and then we can verify with CDE maybe when that data was pulled, and then compare the two. But I don't have a ready answer for that. Anybody else have anything they?
I think that's a good place to start, Paul. See if we can help
Okey-doke.
Shayna unravel that.
Okie doke. Siobhan, 332. Can't seem to clear an SDEM 689 F2. Teacher on leave for the third year now. They have no sections assigned to them. They have a non-classroom assignment of 6018. Is it in their assignment that I need to put the 100% FTE? Sorry, Q1. Teacher on leave. So yes, in the 24-25 SAS record showing the 6018, they need to have the 100% FTE in there. But if they are a teacher on leave, just as we've discussed, but it's a SESDEM 689 F2. Oh, it's up on the screen. Yes, create the SAS record with the 6018, but you are also going to run into the issue with the SDEM 685 or 684, whichever one it is, where you also need to add either a secondary non-classroom based job assignment or their normal course sections to CalPads as well.
I would add, just because it's come up and it's Charlene's scenario that we just answered, that if they're gone that long, it's likely you've hired teachers to at least temporarily replace them. And if that's the case, you could just close out their employment end date in CalPads for now, and then reactivate it when they come back, and then just report the teachers that are actually teaching the courses that teacher normally would be instructing.
Nope. Erica, 333 Q1. If a teacher is actively employed on census day but only works during the second semester starting in January and serves as the teacher of record for courses in that semester, should they still be reported for fall 2? So I guess my question would be, if they're employed on census day, what were they doing? If they weren't teaching a course, were they in another advisory capacity that would be represented by a non-classroom based job assignment? I guess I'm kind of at a loss because if you're only teaching during the second semester, that sounds like they're not employed during the other half of the year. So I guess I would need additional detail on that to render a halfway intelligent opinion. But yeah, it's if they were there doing something, then you have to document that using a non-classroom based job assignment. All right. Solange at 333 Q1. If we have a teacher that started the year with us, but their end date was 9/20/24, do they need to show up on our fall 2 4.1 staff reports with their start and end dates, or is it okay if they do not show up on the fall 2 reports? If they were not employed with you on census day, which is October 2nd, do not submit a 24-25 SAS record for them. Do not submit course records for them. And on their SDEM, make sure that you have populated their employment end date, not the record end date, all the way at the bottom where it says employment end date, populate that and post it, and they should be excluded from fall 2 reporting. Rebecca, 341. If CDE sends out a flash on leave of absence, I recommend the CTC send the same information via their listserv for assignment news.
So
That
at
sounds-
minimum, the FAQ is getting overhauled. So just keep an eye on that screen, but I will pass it on that you guys would prefer a flash message as well. And thank you, Rebecca. I'll include that.
And Sue Ann's Q2 at 319 is just that recommendation that I think we need a flash with clarification on reporting teachers on leave. There's only a very basic information currently available. Maybe it could explain the need for the FTE reporting and the course reporting requirements. And I think that's a very good idea.
So
All
I
right.
went and found my email from AMARD on that, and it impacts specifically the federal reporting and on the teacher assignment monitoring outcome TAMO, both of which are FTE-based reporting metrics. And since they were coming up with an FTE of 0, it was throwing all their metrics out of whack. So we're trying to get that FTE included correctly. And then Gary, you said it succinctly the other day, or maybe it was Alex, that this year the cert error that was supposed to trigger if they reported an FTE on leave but didn't report any courses last year, that cert error wasn't working, and now it's a CDD that is working, and that's why it's causing so much confusion. And do I have that summary correct?
Yes.
And we do have another Q2 from Trish at 344. Q2, teacher on leave. Do you advance the years of service each year? I believe if they were employed with you at all during the year, you advance them. But if they were not employed with you during the year, you do not. But if they were on leave, but it didn't start until after the beginning of the academic year. So they, 7-1 comes around, they're employed, 8-1 rolls around, they're on leave. They were employed with you for 1 month during the year, so they would get advanced. And if they were on an extended leave and they did not come back during the 25-26 academic year, so they were gone pretty much 2 years, you would only advance them the 1 year that they were employed with you and not on leave during that period.
Kyron's got the FAQ in the chat. You kind of summarized it, Paul, that they have to have worked some during the year to be counted as 1 year.
Oh, good. Kim, 345 Q2. But if we do an employment end date for a teacher on leave, the FTE will not get reported to CTC. So not sure how this fixes the issue for them, or am I confused?
That was the caveat, Kim, is that you've hired a replacement teacher to teach that class. So if you haven't done that, then just go ahead and report them on leave still. So in Charlene's case, they had they knew these teachers were going to be gone for an extended period of time, so they went ahead and hired people to replace them. So, and that's the case where you want to close out the employee on leave.
And she just added the addendum down below saying, correct, we have hired a replacement.
Okay, so that's going to get reported for the federal reports.
Rebecca, 346 Q1 on Flash 293, there is a new validation preventing SAS records for preschool. I have never sent up a teacher or staff for preschool or the CRSE or SCSE, but I have always sent up the non-classroom based admin positions for preschool. Why is only the SAS blocked now? Why not just block the SDEM too? If not, then when I extract all SAS, I get the preschool who fail, but the SDEM were allowed for them.
So CalPADS can't tell what position they are in when you in the STEM record, right? It's just demographic information. I believe in the data guide, it says nobody from the preschool should be reported, no staff.
And none of the course information for fall 2, we don't use preschool for course information for fall 2.
All right. All right, moving down to Alejandra at 348, Q2, follow-up to my Q1 about not needing to amend because the LEA is happy with the revision. I do see the SENR 6441 errors now. However, for this error, it states in the flash that action is required for 10 plus of these errors only. Am I
Good
still
catch.
required?
You're not required. The other one, we were requiring people to fix them all because it was counting, making students not be counted on a lot of reports. This one, it's only 214 and 2.15. I would recommend that you go ahead and fix those just so you have time and you have you know, we want your data to be as accurate as possible. Nobody's going to come after you though if you don't fix those 3 errors.
That you know of.
Who's her CSIS agent?
All right. Well, with 11 minutes left, our Q&A box is empty.
Hey, Paul.
Yes, sir.
So I was able to work on EOS scenario, the one
Oh,
where you
excellent.
have the self-approved and LEA disapprove at the same time. So you, as an LEA, you won't be able to disapprove a self-approved if you have already an LEA approved. So you might need to contact your SELPA, have them disapprove on their level to be able to recertify your revised and certified instead.
Okay.
So
Thank
she
you, Karen. I
contacted her
appreciate you doing that.
SELPA and they did that and she's now SELPA
Oh,
approved.
good. Okay, that was how fast. That's happy news.
Look at that. We started a Q&A with a Q1, and by the end, it was resolved. Wow.
That's what you get when you put your LEA name in your Zoom name.
Yeah.
You get extra service.
True. How true.
All right. Well, if we have no more questions, I'm going to give you 10 minutes of your life back. I appreciate you all being here. I always get a kick out of the meetings. Enjoy being with you. If you have any new problems before the next Q&A, please put it to service desk ticket so we can get it resolved as quickly as possible. Otherwise, we'll see you back here next Wednesday. And don't forget that Monday we're off, and hopefully you're off too. So the office hours from CDE SPED section will also not be happening on Monday.
But they will be happening on Thursday.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a great week.